Hey there, I'm Eric Metaxas. No, really, I'm Eric Metaxas, and I'm the host of this show. And we thought it would be fun for you to get to see kind of how the show gets put together, what we call behind the scenes. Hey there, folks. As I warned you, we've got some good guests today.
Eric, what a pleasure to be here with you and your literally dozens of viewers.
Like I feel like I have to warn you up front. Like when I tease you, you know I'm like, this is affection.
It's affection.
And you're supposed to tease back. Don't
tell me how to.
Basically, the way the show came about, it really is bizarre. I was doing a radio show. Most people know a radio show is not on TV. And Matt said, we want to take your radio show and put it on TBN. And I said, what do you mean? I don't understand. And he said, well, we just want you to do your radio show. We're going to build you a studio, and we will film it as a TV show, the radio show. And I thought, well, that's easy, because I'm already doing the radio show. Sure, let's do it. It's about time we get started. Here we go. It's noon. I'm just waking up just now. Uh-oh. Albin, it's Monday.
It is Monday.
It's Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize in advance for what we're going to do this week. It is next level insane.
I'm Albin Sadar, and when I got in here this morning, someone told me I was the producer of the show, which explains a lot, okay? So I was like, oh boy, I better step it up a bit.
Albin's main job is to make me feel focused. He's so unfocused that by contrast, he makes me feel focused, and it's an unbelievable thing.
The moment he steps through that door, I got to make sure he's happy. So usually he's in a good mood. Okay, I got to say that about Eric, but I got to keep him in a happy mood. And that's kind of easy to do with Eric. But then when the guests get here, I got to make sure that they're in a great mood too, because we want to make sure that the conversation between Eric and the guest goes smoothly. And I can be a bit of a warm-up act for, make sure when the guests are down getting makeup on, that they know something about what's going to happen.
One of the most fun things for me is when I travel around the country constantly speaking in churches and different venues. And wherever I am, somebody comes up to me and says like, oh, I know you from TBN, I know you from TBN. And at first I think, but you don't know me from my Bonhoeffer book, or you don't know me from I've been on the radio forever. And I realize that's the point. In other words, the joy for me of being on TBN is I'm reaching another audience. Behind the scenes, there's just a huge team at TBN. There's somebody called Kristen Egan. There's somebody called Kelsey Holstein. There are a lot of people, but they're upstairs in a booth, and I just hear their voices. So I think they're trying to confuse me.
My name's Kristen Egan, and I'm the production manager in our New York City studios. One of my jobs is to bring in crew to cover all the productions that we do here. They're all vital parts in making the production successful.
Directing is really three things. It's confidence, it's rhythm, and it's time. And knowing your host and listening to the sound of their voice will tell you just about everything you need to do.
The cameras in Studio B are special. We were the first studio to have these robotic cameras from Panasonic. We control them from another room. We have 6 of them. We have no operators in the studio, which gives the studio more intimate experience for the host and guest.
So these are what's known as PTZ cameras, and the robotics cameras that you're able to control remotely through a joystick. And I grew up playing video games, so it's like, 1, 2, 3 since I was like 3 years old. So it's like second nature.
So we can operate them moving across the room to get full view of the studio. With 6 cameras, we cover pretty much anything.
My name is Melanie, and I am the stage manager for the Eric Metaxas Radio Show. So as a stage manager, I help set up for the production day, and I communicate between the director and the host, and just make sure everything runs smoothly on the floor.
When you get started in this business, you're always looking to do whatever you can, to get situated. And then after a while, you start thinking, wow, now I want to go for this kind of job at this network or channel. You start to realize that it's about people. You want to be happy when you come to work.
I've worked in a lot of studios in New York. This is probably my favorite.
Because the radio side was already in existence whenever TBN came into the picture, part of my job is to take what they were doing and then bring our TV team into it. Get all the content we need without interfering with anything on the radio side, making sure that they still get 2 hours of radio every single day for the radio show. There's lots and lots of guests to choose from, and honestly, they're all amazing, but for me, whenever it comes to choosing a guest, is what our audience is gonna like the best. And there's just such a wide variety of topics that he talks about, but I try to choose things with a Christian worldview or a Christian perspective, things that our audience needs to hear about or is gonna want to hear about. So after the show, whenever I select a guest, I then take the content and cut it into the time that we have for the TBN show, and then passing it off to our editor, Keith, and finishing the show with him. So making sure he has any necessary media, any information from the guests that we're missing, and just making sure that the show gets finished and has a nice little bow on it.
So once Kelsey hands over the project to me, then I make all of those cuts look like natural cuts. I finesse everything. Because the show is all cut up once it gets to me, I make it look like a seamless, flawless show. And then I add the open and the close. I add any B-roll that we might need, or graphics, transitions. Once I have a final edit made, then I send it to Kristen, and she will review it and approve it or give notes on changes. And then I make the changes and reviews it again until it is finalized. Then I do a final export and send it off to air.
Folks, this is such a wacky show. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yada, yada, yada. Where God in Aramaic says, you got to do your part first. Come on. But he was Greek, wasn't he?
He was.
And I'm only half Greek.
He was Greek, and he was very smart.
Oh, thank you.
Every time I have a book out, you always say, come down to this cathedral. And this place is the nicest studio I've ever seen, period.
Thank you very much.
I like that suit jacket, too.
I'd lend it to you, but I'm a little big.
Eric likes to get to know people. He always asks you your last name because he wants to be able to really know your name. He says he forgets first names, but he remembers last names.
I forgot your name. Dan, sorry, Dan. I just want to know people's names, and I'm very bad with names.
He really does want to get to know everyone who's around him and really just be personal with the whole crew, which is nice.
Your name again? On a day like today, literally, I might forget Alvin's name.
My favorite part of working on the Eric Metaxas show is Eric Metaxas. You just never know what you're going to get when he walks through the door. He keeps things very interesting. He's really fun to work with. He's super intelligent. He's funny. He makes us laugh. We're never bored. It's different every day. I love working with him.
Eric Metaxas has a lot of energy, so it's always fun getting to work with him. He has a lot of ideas and a lot of great ideas, and we're lucky to have a great team around us to help make those ideas come to life.
I really admire just him going for it, and he's very tenacious. He knows what he wants, he goes for it. Also super intelligent. I mean, I learned so much just from listening to his program.
There's a few jokes that he has that I think myself and other older people get, but he's also, he will appeal to a younger crowd, there's no doubt.
Sometimes when I'm sitting in the back giving him time cues, I start laughing because of the interaction with his guest or with Alvin, and they just make some comments that make me laugh. So it's really fun being part of this show.
He's very much a down-to-earth kind of guy when you know him, which is really, really important. And when the guests get to meet him, it's not like here's somebody who's going to try to, stump the band. Here's a guy that's going to try to, bring out the real you, because he's the real him. His show is not just a TV show, it's like a ministry to him.
I would want someone to take away from the show how to critically think, how to come to their own conclusion, which I admire Eric doing. He doesn't just listen to, one mouthpiece or another. He says, okay, where is this in history? Where is this in the context of everything that's happening? And looking at a situation from multiple perspectives to gain clarity and really get to the truth of the matter.
In the future, I hope that the show reaches more people so that they can see a different side of Eric, not the author or speaker, but a fun TV host.
Hey there, sports fans. My guest today is my very dear friend, Dennis Prager. On the one hand, that's a good thing. The bad news is that it's all downhill from here, because I have so much fun talking to Dennis that I just know the rest of the day is going to be a bummer.
That may be the greatest introduction I ever had. If we don't know history, we don't recognize how much God has been a part of the American story.
God's given every one of us the ability to take control of our thinking. By the power of Christ in us, we can change the way we think.
If we don't have something to say in practice, then free speech in the abstract isn't going to mean very much.
I'm very eclectic by nature, and so I really enjoy the breadth, B-R-E-A-D-T-H, of subjects and guests that I have. To be able to go from talking to someone about something that's extremely serious to the point of stressfully important, to talking to somebody like my friend Victoria Jackson or whoever, where I'm able to be really silly. But I think that we need to understand that we can be silly to God's glory. We can joke and laugh to God's glory. So in a way, I do feel it's important to model that to the world and to show that unless you can express the joy of the Lord, you're not getting what the Lord has for you. He has joy. He wants us to express our joy. And unless the world can see the joy, we're really not showing them the totality of who God is. I consider that really important. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed our little behind the scenes of the Eric Metaxas Show, and maybe you even understand somewhat of how it is that this show gets put together, because I'll be honest, I have no idea. I think my goal is to have people go, what? Like, that's always my goal.